Good morning, everyone. How are we doing? Or good afternoon, good evening, whenever you're watching this. Thank you so much for watching. Man, this is Monday today. It's Labor Day. I'm making this video today. Now, yesterday, my usual Sunday, I was sick over the weekend, like food poisoning, stomach bug, just miserable. So feeling a lot better, ready to get after it, and excited for a week ahead in the market, especially because next week I will only be trading one day because then I'll be traveling the rest of the week. So actually 2 days, Monday and Tuesday. But yeah, nonetheless, excited for this week to continue the strong improvements. Had a green month in August, while not anything crazy, just felt like a nice turning point. Reached a lot of goals of mine, and I'm on day 100, almost 200 of zero broken rules. So keeping that streak, if you will, alive. Not that it's really like a real streak. It's just that's what's going to be required to become a full-time profitable trader. But nonetheless, with all that, let's get into the watch list. That's what you're here for. Before I get started, if you do enjoy trading, stock market, investing as much as I do, and you like the channel, you like my voice, you like what I put out, please consider dropping a like, subscribing to the channel. It would mean the absolute world to me. Without further ado, let's get into it. So we'll start things off on Tesla. So basic support and resistance, previous day high, previous day low, and then of course any major supply and demand. I have been watching this daily flag for a minute now. We broke out of it, had a little bit of a move up, but then what do you know? Swept. If we go to the weekly here, look at that weekly candle. I mean, like, we'll see what happens here. I mean, man, that could easily come back down to these lows here, 272, dip under 300. We'll see. Kind of curious what I can see on the monthly. Yeah, a lot of selling coming in here to end the month. Definitely a lower volume month for sure, but we'll see. I mean, I'm just going to be watching my levels. We have previous day high, previous day low. That's what I'll be watching. As far as any supply and demand goes, I'll check on the 4-hour real quick. We do have a 4-hour supply, so I'll go ahead and mark that out here. We have a 4-hour supply, the wick and the open of that candle. So we'll do this. This is kind of just taking you guys through like how I'll mark out supply and demand. I'll make these levels more faint. I don't want them kind of like clogging up the whole chart, and instead we'll just duplicate that. But we do have a nice looking 4-hour supply zone there. I want to double check. This is the open 342.7. So let's go ahead and edit that. I will definitely keep that on watch as well, especially because it's in the previous day range. We can go to the 3-hour as well. We can see there's a 3-hour supply as well, but since it's pretty much in that zone as well, I'll go ahead and I'll make another level there. And since it's the wick and the body, we just need one level. So we'll go ahead, we'll change that to 3. And this is how I will mark supply and demand as well. I'll check the 4-hour, the 3-hour, the 2-hour. We have 2-hour as well, but it's right there at the 3, so we don't need to mark that. We don't have 1 hour. Let's see, 45-minute. Nothing on the 45-minute. And then lastly, the 30-minute. Nothing on the 30-minute. That's not very good looking zone. But so we have 4-hour and 3-hour right there on Tesla. So I'll be watching those zones. If we break underneath the previous day low, we do have a nice daily demand zone that I've had on watch for a minute. So it seems pretty likely it will come down. This could be an option for swing trading as well. I really like this daily supply demand down here too, all the way down at 310. I've actually had this one on watch for a minute for swings. It's at the bottom of this kind of this trend line too. So we'll see what happens with Tesla, but it looks good, looks clean. Again, I'll look for price to come up and reject this supply and get over that to the previous day high, or break and retest under the previous day low. So that's going to be Tesla. Go look at Apple. I haven't traded Apple since keeping on the watch list. I just keep the levels updated. I just don't really like the way it moves, but I'll be watching the previous day high and previous day low for a break and retest. Let's go over to NVIDIA. NVIDIA, same thing, previous day high, previous day low. We have a 4-hour demand that we already bounced at earnings as well really nicely. It looks like we're holding it here again. If I go to the 4-hour, we can see that pretty clearly. Really beautiful looking 4-hour demand. Holding already. If we break underneath the previous day low, I'll look for a move down to 171.23 and 168.88. We do have a 4-hour supply here as well. So I will, of course, go ahead and mark this out too. So a nice looking 4-hour supply on NVIDIA here. We're just going to make that nice and faint. And the open of the candle is right at the previous day high, so I will not make an additional level for that. But of course, while we're here, we'll check it out on the 3 hour. Nothing on the 3 hour. We'll check out the 2 hour. 2 hour, really nice looking level there. So we will go ahead, duplicate that. We will go to the wick and the open of, what the frick? Oh, did I not duplicate it? Oh, I did, I just didn't drag it. So we will go ahead and put that here. We have a 2 hour. And I love when supply and demand, I'm really hesitant to take supply and demand trades when they don't line up with the previous day high or previous day low. I have had successful trades where that's been the case, but I've had way more losing ones because it's like you're trying to catch the top or bottom. Like for example, if there's a supply zone up here at 181, right? If there were to be, and we're over the previous day high, we have a very bullish EMA trend at that point. It's like trying to catch a reversal, and I just do not like that. My supply and demand trades have been much more effective, efficient, successful when they line up with another area of support or resistance, like the previous day high and like the previous day low. So we'll go check out the 1 hour, see if there's any supply or demand there. We do have that 1 hour supply here, again, at the previous day high. So I will keep that marked out just like that. So we have a nice supply zone right here on NVIDIA, just like we have on Tesla as well. I'll double check 45 minute, same thing, 45 minute supply. So we have all types of confluence up here for NVIDIA. So that could be good for shorts, especially since it's been weak after that reaction from earnings. Lastly, for individuals, my favorite, AMD. Let's go over to AMD. We had this bear flag on the daily. We did break out of it. So man, that looks really good. We do have a gap down here on the daily at 148. So we'll see if that gets filled. But we do have a strong level here right at 150. So man, 150, that is going to be a line in the sand. So if we take it down to the levels, previous day high all the way up at 168, previous day low as a huge range all the way down at 161. We did have this demand zone that we bounced out on the 4 hour and 1 hour. So I will be watching that. We had a 4 hour demand that we came and bounced out of. Then we made another 4 hour demand, came and bounced out of again. So I'm waiting for that to break at the previous day low. Next level is going to be down here at 158.38. I do have this wick right here marked, but it's just maybe for like a profit target or just in case we bounce here. But I'm looking for shorts underneath the previous day low. If we get back above, we stay above the previous day low and we're over the EMAs, I'll look for a ride back up to the previous day high, up at 168. Looking at the chart here, we do have 4 hour supply as well. Just not the biggest fan of it because of, the volume's crazy. AMD has crazy volume. I'll mark it, but it's not my favorite looking zone because of that wick down here, but I will mark it. I would just be a lot more hesitant to take the trade. But nonetheless, at the very least, we can always get a mental rep if it does reject. And then look, like if it does reject, I can catch a piece with the on an EMA pullback if it really does confirm. Because if we do get up here, we will be above the EMAs. So if we break below EMAs and VWAP, then I could catch a piece if it really does confirm. Let's see if it looks any better on the other time frames, like 3 hour, no. 2 hour. See, like the 2 hour definitely looks better. So I will duplicate this and put it on the 2 hour. See if it looks any better too on the 1 hour. But there's definitely going to be supply up here. We had a really big sell-off. So there's definitely unfilled areas in this area. But that doesn't always mean there's going to be a rejection because like one strong buyer, as you know, can just take out all those orders. But we will keep it on watch. 1 hour, definitely a lot better, but it's already in the zone. So I'll look for this area from 165.89 to 166.34 to reject. We'll take a look at 45 minute. That looks really good. So here, I'll do this too. See how there's no wick here? That's what I like to see. So we will go here and we'll call it 45 minute. Cool. And that's going to be our zones. Actually, it's a little low. We need to put it there right at the open. And then lastly, the 30 minute, nothing. So that's what I'll be looking for on AMD. And then ideally under the previous day low, break and retest, that would be the best setup there. So now we can go over to the indexes. Let's go over to SPY. Looks like a nice bear flag going here. So I will mark this out just to see how this kind of unfolds tonight when the futures open. Looks like we'll bear flag underneath the previous day low. My next support is going to be at 641. And then below that, I have a daily demand down here at 638. So if we go to the daily, we can see that. Right here, we have the wick and the body of that. So we'll see where price goes there. If we move up, I'll just look for a move back up to the previous day high and then all-time high of 649. We can go over to ES. I'll look for supply and demand after the watch list ends on those. That way I'm not taking too much of your time. On ES, just have a whole psych number at 6,500. I'll look for supply up here. We have a level here. This was a previous day low. It was support, turn to resistance, back to support, down here at 65, 64.53. Under that, we'll be looking at that daily demand. Just like we have on SPY, 64.19 down to 6,400. And then lastly, we can wrap up here with QQQ. So QQQ, previous day low, first support. Under that, we have daily demand. And then first resistance zone up at previous day high, 575. And then 578, which was a daily supply that we did reject out of. It wasn't the cleanest. We got very deep into that zone, but we did ultimately reject that supply. And as you can see, we have the daily demand down here from 564.35 up to 566.64. And I believe we already did bounce out of that on NQ. Whoops. So I'll see if we can get another one out of it. Yes, we have this daily demand. We already have bounced out of it twice now. So if we take it down to a lower time frame, that's going to be my main area for a bounce from 370 all the way down to this 4-hour demand at 23,202. So lots of support down here. We'll see where that ends up. As far as resistance goes, no supply, nothing like that until I go check it out and mark it out, see if we have any. Like, see here, we do have that 4-hour there, so I will watch that. But that'll be it until the all-time high. So that's going to wrap it up. Thank you guys so much for watching this week, watching the levels, watching the EMA and VWAP trend, break and retest of the levels. That is it. Supply and demand, if it aligns, price action and volume to confirm the levels, tight risk, and honestly just forcing expansion on my winners, getting 2R or more on all my winning trades. That's what made my month of August green. That's what I'm really working on most at the moment. So anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, again, consider dropping a like, comment, subscribing, and I will see you all in the next watch list. Peace and God bless.